Well, that's Ontario's party band, Boiler Beach. Those guys are from Kincardine, Ontario, Canada. Um, if you're up in that neck of the woods on vacation or whatever, they play up all around that area all summer long and into the fall and winter as well. Um, yeah, so Andrea, Terry, and Mike, uh, that is coming out on the 23rd of February. We just had a single drop here last Friday. It was the only single on the label that dropped last Friday, and it was I'd Hide a Body for You. And that is by our friend, written by our friend, Brent Doerner of My Wicked Twin. We've got him here on the show tonight. He joined me at very, very late in the day, agreed to come on the show and help me out tonight because Sean is snowed in Halifax and no sign that he's going to be dug out anytime soon. They got no internet, so he's chiseling on stone tonight and hanging out in Halifax. Well, without further ado, this guy's got a long history in music. He's been around the music scene for a long, long time. Started out in a band called Helix back in the 70s, toured all over the place, toured a bunch of countries, came home, decided that he was going to do something different for a living, and then put on his solo shoes and did a solo career. He's 6 albums deep now. Nobody Approved is the current album. It's going to be all out by the end of this year, but we're releasing it single by a single. So watch for it everywhere music is sold. Here he is, Brent Doerner, right here.
Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Oh, my God. How are you doing?
I'm beside myself. I should be a twin.
There you go. We can slide you over on this side or put you on this side. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say something about that Boiler Beach song. Yeah, I thought it was a couple of things I liked about it. It sounded like they had bongos or something or some sort of percussion or something in the background that added nicely to it. I find that the song was really honest sounding.
Right.
And I also thought that the guitar player played a solo that fits the song. He didn't just play a whole bunch of notes. It sounds like the solo fit the song.
Yeah, gave it a lot of thought to the songwriting process. Those guys, interestingly enough, record and produce all their own music. Andrea does she does the lion's share of the mixing and the mastering, and she's getting better at it.
Yeah, and I also noticed, because I've been following them on Facebook, I think they've got a trailer that they can tow behind a pickup truck, and the side of it opens up, and that's the stage.
Yeah, they've found this portable stage they bought, and I think they'll even rent it out, share it with other people if somebody wants to put on a gig, and they'll show up with the stage and the trailer, the whole bit, ready to go. I mean, how much better can you get than a live on the road show?
Yeah, like you screw the drums and the drums to the floor and the amplifiers to the floor, and you don't even have to set up. you just open the door.
Just open the door and away you go.
Yeah.
Do you remember they did that in Ontario around Christmas time with the train? Remember that, where that stage would come down outside the train?
No.
They did that. I think CN Rail did it between like London and Toronto and all those places, and they would stop at different places, and the stage would flop down out of one of the cars on the train, and band would start playing music. Kind of a cool thing.
Well, I don't think I ever heard of that.
A made for you ready show. I mean, what better could you get than that?
Yeah, really. I mean, we played with Motley Crue in New Hampshire at a football stadium, and we were on the bill with YNT and a bunch of other bands. But it was like the first or second show where Tommy's drum kit would flip upside down or go around in a circle or something, right?
Right.
And it took the road crew so long to figure out how to make that thing work that it went way past everybody's sound checks, and they were still plugging the speakers in, and they said, "Oh, good, Helix is here, you're on." And our road manager said, "Wait a minute, you guys are still plugging the speakers in, like the house isn't even set up." And we decided as a band that we weren't going on, period. And the guy said, "Good, I thought you'd say that. Here's your money, see you later."
nothing like not having to play and still getting paid.
Yeah, and they covered our rider, and some of us met Heather Locklear there, and it was kind of cool.
What year was that, Brent?
Oh, back when the Dead Sea was still sick, I think.
And the Dead Sea is definitely dead now. It's beyond sick.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about streaming services and your sort of venture through the streaming world of streaming, because you started before you met me. You started putting your music up on streaming services before I came along.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to get out there, so I just did whatever. I bet you there's 1,000 guys just like me that just put it on and just, hope for the best, right? Instead of having a record company that understands it like TUNZ does.
Right. I know Sean posts about this a lot. Like, he runs into people all the time that spend lots of money on their music, and then all of a sudden they just put it out there hoping that enough people are going to gravitate towards it and find it. And then they're sadly disappointed when that doesn't happen.
Well, I can't really, like, I didn't keep track of like login information and what went on, and I put it out there all over the place, right, on all these sites that I think are long defunct by now.
Right.
So
yeah.
So I didn't have anybody I knew that could really help to do the things that TUNZ Records does for me, and I appreciate it.
And you found me not directly. Someone referred you to me.
Yeah, JB Stryker from the Living Room Rockstar is a good friend of mine, and he's a bit crazy, and I love him.
The funny part about that story is that he was endorsing me to you, and he hadn't yet joined the label.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. And I did all his videos for him too. We did big production videos, right? We had actors, right. And the one video, what was it called? Blue Steel Highway. It's about importing guns from the States into Canada and crossing the border with the guns. And lo and behold, JB's got all these people he knows that own guns, and they own lots of guns, vintage guns, all kinds of guns. And there we are. These guys are just rambling off real live rounds and blasting cars with shotguns. And it was a fun shoot, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's funny how people meet other people in this side of the music world, what I call the true independent music world. Some people call it the music underground, because in a lot of ways people aren't aware that there are so many great artists out there, and you're discovering new artists all the time yourself just by listening.
I do. The radio stations that support My Wicked Twin, I tune into all of them every day. I can't give them the whole day, but I'll leave 3 or 4 of them running, and I'll jump back and forth online from one tab to the next to see who's playing what. I hear lots of really great music. And when I hear something that's a dud, I switch over to the next tab in the next station and listen to that for a while, right?
Oh, and the cool thing about internet radio is that you can listen from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, one problem that I find that kind of irks me is some stations will, while they're playing the song, they put up the name of the song and the artist, and some of them don't. And the ones that I tune into the stations that, like, if the station's not showing the name of the artist, I have a tendency to not listen as much. You know what I mean? Because how can I find out who it is?
Right. Now, do they actually post that information manually, or is that information read off the music file that they're playing? Do you know how that works?
I don't know. It seems like everybody's got a different platform, and that, and the one guy, he keeps inviting me to Discord, his radio station on Discord. Frig, do you think I can figure that out? Holy cow, you gotta jump through flaming hoops of fire just to find anything. There's so much shit on the page, it's unbelievable. And then it says listen live. You click there, nothing. Click, 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 nothing. Right?
Yeah, it's frustrating out there when you find these dead links when you're looking for stuff. I know that a lot of radio station hosts that I know and owners that I know, they're really big about making sure that music files that they receive are properly tagged. Now, some people call it tagging. We call it metadata in my world. If that metadata is not on the track, then sometimes the artist isn't identified. If they're using the metadata identifiers as a way of identifying who the artist is that's playing on the track.
Okay.
So if that data is being grabbed off of their platform or their broadcast platform, and those MP3s that they're receiving aren't properly meta-tagged, they're not going to get that information.
I noticed on, I don't know if I should say which station, but I noticed a couple of my favorites that support Wicked Twin too. They've got, it looks like what TUNZ is doing is you're adding artwork to the MP3s that the radio stations are going to receive, along with the metadata and ID3 information.
That's right.
And so when you include an album cover or a song artwork, that when they're playing the MP3, you could see the band's artwork, and that's what we want.
Yeah, it's really important because a lot of bands, a lot of artists spend a lot of time putting together the artwork to theme it with the single or with the album. We've changed our strategy a little bit because now we're releasing everything track by track now, as opposed to releasing an album and then hoping that people gravitate to more than one track on the album. And we've been finding that by releasing a single track at a time, we're getting a lot more attention, and we're finding artists' music getting more playlisting.
Hey, I gotta say, I just found out that a Norwegian band has covered a My Wicked Twin song. That's pretty cool. That's the first time that ever happened to us.
We were talking about that tonight, weren't we?
Yeah. I went and listened to it. I'll just leave it at that.
Some things are not as good as the original.
Well, I actually, after listening to that person's version, I went and listened to my own version because I hadn't listened to it. Like, once I'm done the album, I don't sit there and listen to my own songs. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
By the time you're done writing it, recording it, and mixing it, and then mastering it, I've heard it enough times that I probably won't go revisit it, right? Unless somebody asks me about something. But the new song, I'd Hide a Body for You, man, Kelly Kerlick, does he ever rip up a soul? That guy can tear it up. And he told
Well,
me he's going to be doing a playthrough video of the solo for me.
yeah, he made a post about it today on Facebook, and I think it was today or yesterday. He made a post about it, his part on the track, and I said, "And what an awesome solo it is!" Because it is. I mean, how many notes did he cram into those seconds that he had to do the solo? Like
I
it's
know.
so fast, it's blistering fast.
Well, he wrote it to because the song's kind of evil. So it's like he just added that friggin' intensity to the song, right? I loved it.
And it didn't take him long to really capture the mood of the song and the solo, did it?
He sent me two different solos for that song. I just sent him the track, and I just said, "Well, you can play from here to there if you would." And he sent me two, and I like the one much better than the other one. The first one, it was so crazy. I asked him if he could tone it down a little bit, and you're hearing the toned down version on that song. Believe it or not.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Here's something I want to talk about in terms of sound quality. So one of the things that has come to light about Spotify. So Spotify offers three different plans. We talk about Spotify a lot because they're sort of like the leader. They're the largest streaming service that's around. Everything seems to pull off Spotify in terms of like charting music and overall music digital sales, those kinds of things. But here's an interesting thing about how audio quality can vary on the subscription plan. So a
How,
lot of people, a lot of people probably don't know this. If you have the free plan, you might be listening to a track that is anywhere up to 160 kilobits per second. Now, it could be as low as 96. Most people say it's around 128. So if you're listening to the free version, you're listening to a very low end quality video or quality audio. And if you,
should it be like 256?
well, I mean, even 192 is a decent option, but in their free service, they're only offering up to 160 megabits per second, but most often it's 128 or lower. So the quality that you're hearing is not the same quality that you're rendering when you put a master. Now, when we upload masters, here's an interesting thing. When we're uploading masters, we're uploading them in 24-bit wave file format. So they're large wave files. They typically will chop that down. Now, again, you've got other premium services out there like Tidal and others who stream at higher rates. But premium subscribers may get up to 320 kilobits. Here's the interesting thing. Family subscribers have access to hi-fi quality streaming up at 14 to 11 kilobits per second. So they're getting more CD quality if you've got the family plan on Spotify. You're getting better quality sound if you're got a family plan on Spotify. So there's just the difference is in terms of the quality that the end user gets on the listening side.
I guess I don't really know a lot about Spotify, really. Um, I guess it's probably a popular platform for people that own smartphones. Is that right?
It's one of the most popular. In fact, when streaming came into being, so prior to streaming, we were talking about this on the last show. Everybody remembers when Metallica sued Napster, right? Because Napster and LimeWire and all those services were they were file sharing services, but they ended up pirating music. So there was a lot of music pirated on there that nobody ever paid for, and the artists weren't making any money off that streaming. So Lars Ulrich from Metallica decided he was going to file a lawsuit because nobody was doing anything about this. A little while along down the road, Spotify enters the streaming market and says, "Look, we can come up with a legitimate service that offers something back to the artist, and the artist will get paid for their music, and we'll devise a royalty payment plan." Now, the interesting thing about it is that there's no transparency really about this royalty payment plan and how it actually works, although there's many people who say it mimics what was done in the record industry back when you guys were putting out vinyl.
Well, I think number one, I can tell you that for putting out vinyl and royalties, that I believe that it doesn't matter if you're Led Zeppelin or if you're Brent Doerner, everybody gets 5 cents for airplay on a legitimate FM station.
Right.
But for like 100 years or more, it was 2.5 cents. And I think one of the U.S. presidents doubled it to 5 cents.
Right. Yeah, it's never been. I mean, getting money off your music that way has never really been a profitable venture for artists. For that reason, and that's one of the reasons that artists tour so much. There's more money touring than there is in record sales.
Yeah, I think that even the Beatles wanted to play because that's how they actually were paying their bills, was by playing live. But when they were playing live at Shea Stadium and TV shows and stuff, right?
That's right. And they were making top dollar back then.
Yeah, and I think it was the Led Zeppelin band manager, that changed the music business forever. When I guess before Led Zeppelin, the venue wanted money from the band to play there. The band had to pay to play. Right. And Led Zeppelin's manager said, no, that's backward. You want Led Zeppelin, you pay Led Zeppelin to play at your place. Right? And that's how he actually changed the music industry. Because then everybody wanted to get paid then, right? And rather than paying to play, they're now getting paid to play.
Yeah, I mean, and there are, I mean, in many ways that pay-to-play thing still exists out there because there are bands that have to buy their way on tours.
Yeah, it's called a buy-on, as a matter of fact.
That's right. I mean, you guys now when you guys toured back in the day, you guys had to do buy-ons, right?
Yeah, for the Kiss tour, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a buy-in. Now, is that buy-in to sort of guarantee that you're going to help with ticket sales or whatever? Is that why the buy-in's there?
I got to say, first off, the artist, whoever it may be, they're not just picking anybody. They want to pick the band that's going on the whole tour. They want to pick the band that's going to sell tickets, like somebody popular. They're not just putting anybody there.
Right.
So they're looking. Yeah. So at the time, Helix was popular enough that the Kiss guys must have thought, hey, we'll put these guys on in front of us and they'll sell tickets for us.
There's no doubt about it. And when you guys toured, did you play in a lot of places with Kiss you guys had played before?
None.
Oh, really?
Not a one.
So those were all new markets for you guys then?
Well, I mean, there's countries that we played before. Right. But there wasn't the same venues, if that's what you meant. Or did I misunderstand you?
No, like the same city or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. We played some of the same cities. I saw the Eiffel Tower from about 5 miles away, and we drove past it, and that was what I saw of Paris. We were about 5 miles from it. Done. There was the Eiffel Tower.
There it goes. There it is. Yeah. Blink and you'll miss it.
And I got to tell you, so we fly all the way across the ocean to start the Kiss tour that started in Lisbon, Portugal.
Right.
In a big arena, right? And we had this bass player at the time, and he sat beside me on the plane. And just as we're coming in to land in Portugal, He goes, I wonder if we'll see the Queen. He said, the Queen of what? He says, the Queen of England. He said, well, why would the Queen of England be here? He says, well, because she lives here. I says, so you think the Queen of Elizabeth, the Queen of England lives in Portugal? He goes, we're landing in England, aren't we? I couldn't believe it. You just flew all the way across the ocean and you didn't know what country you were even landing in. We had like a 40-page itinerary. Every show, what time, the venue, the hotels, the phone numbers, everything for every city, right? Because there was 33 cities.
Right. Wasn't this the bass player that disappeared?
Yeah, he did. And then, you know, we got halfway through the tour and he said, I want to go home. We said, well, fuck, it sure is a long walk from here.
And you were on the Kiss tour then?
Yeah, he wanted to quit and go home in the middle of the Kiss tour.
Oh my
we
God.
Just said, well, it's a long walk. Good luck with that.
So did he hang in there?
He stayed in to the end of the tour, yeah.
I think we're going to find out someday that he was in the witness protection program for the FBI or something.
I think he was a male nurse is what I think he ended up being. I think he lives in Vancouver, male nurse. Mark Rector.
That was his name.
Yeah. I don't know how I remembered it.
How did now when you guys had different bass players that came and went from the band, right?
Yes.
All prior to Daryl Gray was the longest standing member of the band, right?
Yes, sir.
So you guys had a lineup change of bass players. You had a couple of different drummers.
Yes.
And so this bass player did you guys just pick him up just for the tour, or had he been playing with you guys before that tour?
No, I think, I don't know how we ended up getting him. I lived in Kitchener at the time. And I don't know. I think he couldn't take the stress of the tour or the meeting. Like, you know, I got to stand at a stand-up table in Germany after show with Brian May and Gene Simmons. Like just the three of us at that table, right? So I felt a little intimidated, I got to tell you. You know, and then Gene's really tall. Brian May's even taller. And I'm 5'8", right? I'm the little guy.
You're the short guy in the room.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And then, you know, then the German police pulled us over on the way to the after show party, and they started ripping our van apart that we had, the German van. And they were trying to go all through it, and they were asking in broken English, like, "Who are you guys?" And we said, "You know, we're Helix, and we're on the Kiss tour." And they went, "Oh, Kiss, you can go." And they let us go.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that is absolutely crazy. So. Fast forward a few years. I mean, and we had this conversation with Brian too, and he said, you know, it is really tough to be on the road. It's got to be something you want to do. Like touring is not for everybody.
That's for sure. Like no matter how much you plan ahead, and your tour manager can book the hotel rooms and make sure. Like I remember this happened so many times. Our road manager, he'd phone the day of. Or the night before and said, we're going to be arriving, let's say, in Calgary, and we're going to be arriving really late, like 3 a.m. Don't sell our rooms. Don't. We'll be there, but late.
Right.
You pull in, right. Everybody wants to get off the bus and go into the room. They sold your rooms.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they sell them on you, and now you're going to sleep on the bus instead of a bed, right?
Like that's no fun.
There's a bed on the bus, but it's not like a real bed. You know, it's a bunk. It's a bunk.
That's for sure. It's not like sleeping in a real bed.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to put up with the smells and the sounds of everybody else on the bus.
And everybody's stinky ass and shoes. Yep. that and that's if there's no breakdowns or anything, right?
That's right. If there's no breakdowns, and are there showers on those buses at all?
Ours didn't have one. No. We used to do. We were in the early years when we were touring. We'd rent, like we had the road crew, three-man road crew, sound man, and a couple of stage techs and that kind of thing. And we'd rent one room, and we'd order 15 extra towels, and we'd all have a shower in the same room. Well, if you didn't get in there early, you got a cold shower, brother.
Yeah, and I mean, and you probably would be looking forward to when you arrived at the next hotel to either have a sleep and have a shower, or have a shower and then go to sleep.
Yeah, I know. It was sometimes in the early years, it's just like the bus would pull into the hotel, but everybody's snoring. So why wake everybody up to go in? Like, let everybody sleep. And they just leave a page with magic marker on the windshield, stuck to the windshield. Your room number is this, it would say. And our tour manager had got all the rooms, checked everybody in while everybody was snoring.
This one's got us.
Yeah, so you'd wake up. We didn't all wake up at the same time. You look out the front window of the windshield of the bus, and there on the thing on the windshield is Brent, room number such and such. So you just walk in and you say, my name's Brent and I'm in room such and such. Give me the key. And it was great. And then a lot of times it's really frustrating. So you're really tired. You're carrying all your shit up there, your guitar, your luggage. You get up to, like, say, the 5th floor or the 7th floor, and it's got those magnetic keys.
Right.
You have to swipe the doorknob, and the door will open. And it's not programmed. So you got to go down 7 floors and say, my friggin' key's not programmed, right? Oh, sorry. They put it in there and do something with it, and you can go back up. But that happened to me so many times. And it's nobody's fault.
Here's another story.
Except the idiot behind the front desk, right?
I'm going to put this one up here. Bob Minter's online. Hey, Bob, how you doing tonight? He says, I slept on an air mattress for about 7 years. There's a story behind that one.
Yeah. We had just a 4-inch thick foam, Bob. It was just thick foam, 4 inches, maybe 6 inches thick. It was all plywood. There was a light in there. I read a lot of books in there because I didn't want to party every night. I wanted to educate myself too, right? So
were there good after parties on the Kiss tour?
Well, in a couple of places there was, because it was a joint venture from Kiss's record company and ours, right?
Right.
And but that wasn't all the time, and I'd have to say that in Europe, rock and roll is a man's sport. We couldn't believe it. All those shows, there was hardly any females there. It was all guys. Everybody's thinking, we're never getting laid.
Where were all the women folk? They keep them at home there or what?
I guess it was a rock and roll in Europe is a man's sport. I'll tell you, they're very, very few. I would say out of 10,000 people at the Kiss shows, you'd maybe see just a handful of females, and they were wrapped up tight with a man, of course.
Yeah, it's over there. It's a different world when it comes to live music. I mean, guys tend to go to a lot of shows. I mean, Geddy Lee used to say that when Rush used to play, that he'd look out in the audience and there was virtually no females in the audience at all.
Oh, he said that too?
Yeah. You're not the first guy to talk about that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, he used to say that on a regular basis when he's being interviewed. He'd say, you know, Rush would be playing, and he'd look out in the audience, you know, do one of these where he's looking out, and he's like, there's very, very, very few females in the audience. It was all guys.
That's for sure.
Well, you guys definitely played that party rock, the stuff that guys like to jam to. I mean, you guys played tunes that people like to drink and party to.
Yeah, that's the other thing in Europe. Like, for as far as I know, like everybody always wanted to smoke a joint after the show, right? There
Right.
isn't any. Nobody's got any weed. Nobody. It's all like it isn't anywhere.
Not even in Amsterdam?
Well, you can get whatever you want at what's it called? The Bulldog Cafe. I think they have a chain of 3 or 4 Bulldog cafes.
Right.
And you can go in there and they got a menu on the wall, a hash, this kind of hash, Lebanese hash, and the different prices in, I think it was called guilders. Their currency is called guilders. And I don't know, it was like 12 guilders for a gram of this and 14 guilders for a gram of that, right? And then they had, and you know, that was in the basement where you could go buy weed and hash, right? But on the ground floor, they sold muffins and no alcohol, right? Muffins, sandwiches, but they had space cookies.
Oh God!
These big space cookies. It's got hash in there, right?
So edible.
So Fritz buys a space cookie and he starts munching on it. We all have a big bite of this great big cookie. Well, we were supposed to go out that night and party, and everybody slept the whole night. We got eating that cookie, everybody snoring.
Oh man, we definitely digressed from the topic of conversation tonight. We started talking about music. There's a lot of really great music that's coming out on our label this month. We've got a bunch of artist music, and of course, I featured My Own Way tonight. We've got a tune called "Lost on You" by Brutal Republic. That is our friend Jeremy Ober from Brutal Republic in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Cool. That comes out on February 23rd of this month. We're going to try and get a play of that on one of the shows.
We can't play it now? Can't we play it right now?
Actually, I can. You want to talk about something while I try and pull it up?
No, don't leave me here all by myself.
I can put it on. I'll see if I can put it on in the background. We'll see if we can put it on the background.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right. Let me see what I can do. In the meantime, we were talking about Spotify and the pros and cons of Spotify and you know, how difficult you found it yourself as an independent musician on the DIY approach, that do-it-yourself approach, and some of the frustrations that you had and a lot of the things that you didn't know that you wish you'd know.
Well, I mean, I was like an internet amateur, really. Back then, I was very not computer savvy at all. You know, just barely learning how to even work a computer.
Right. You call yourself an internet spode, don't you?
Yeah. Sometimes I can't figure it out. Like I said earlier, I couldn't figure out Discord really. Or it's not working, or I don't really know. I couldn't even find myself on Discord.
Right.
Even though I even created an account for myself. Do you think I can find me? No.
Oh man.
It was like that back then. There wasn't anybody I can turn to that didn't want a couple of grand a month to manage a bunch of social sites, and I don't think the social sites had any power. I can't remember all these baby little sites that would host music, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of them are dead and gone, right?
I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to make this work for us, so that I can play this in the background. I'm gonna turn the volume. I'm gonna have to turn the volume down on it. I know that.
Yeah, when you played that music earlier, it was way too loud.
Yeah, you know what? It's really weird because the volume is preset on it, and I probably could turn it down, but I have no way of knowing how loud it is out there for other people. So I'm always at a loss. I can see VU meters here, and I know when when my volume is cranked. That's weird. My volume was cranked to 150. That's not good. That is never a good thing. So I've got some music here. I'm going to see if I can.
Hi, Michelle Bow.
Change that.
Hey, hi, Bob Mentor, and something else there too.
That. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can try this again, and I'm going to try sharing this. You said, why don't we play it now? So we're going to see if we can play this. To share audio, share a tab or screen instead. Okay. So entire screen, and it won't let me do it. Isn't that weird? It just won't let me do it.
You're weird.
No, it's like it's. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe I can share the audio system now. It's gonna let me do it if I share a screen. Can you believe that?
All right. Well, maybe we shouldn't try it. We should do this one.
There it is. There it is. I'm sharing it now. I'm going to switch it back over to you and I and hope we can get this thing smaller. There we go. All right. Now it says it's going to share it, so we'll see if it does. I got some volume here. Let me see. All right. We'll see. Oh, there it is.
What's the name of this band?
This is a band called Brutal Republic.
This is my first listen.
I don't know how loud I've got. I've got it loud enough?
That's good right there. Maybe you could turn it up just a little.
All right. How's that?
Good.
Like a tongue, I'll light your feet till they walk out their door.
I like that he sounds like a man when he sings instead of a girl.
Yeah, he's got a great voice, eh?
Yeah.
He's a cigar smoking, bourbon drinking dude from Iowa.
Well, we should go visit him. So, is he the main guy or the only guy or?
Well, Brutal Republic is really his project. It's the song's called "Lost on You." This is his latest single. It put a whole album out a few years back, and we picked him up on the label back then and said, "Hey, we'll give you a hand exposing your music, getting it out to some people." And he said, "Sure, why not? Let's give it a try."
How old's this guy?
Jeremy'd be, oh man, I don't even know how old I put him. I put him at early 30s, maybe.
Yeah, I like the sound of his voice.
That's him playing guitar on there as well. He's a hell of a guitar player as well.
Why did you choose this song? Why did you choose a slow song?
This is his latest song. It's coming out on February 23rd.
Okay, that's why.
That is exactly why.
So, Is this song indicative of all the music on the album, or?
No, this is a single all on its own. There's no album coming out at this point in time, although he is working on other tracks. We've got 2 other tracks. One called "The Darkening of Doerner" is one of those tracks.
That's an unusual song title.
Yeah, I know, eh? He comes up with some really unique stuff. I'll see if I can find the artwork to share on this as well. The artwork's pretty cool. This guy is gigging all the time, too. He does a lot of acoustic gigging himself, plays all by himself. And
great.
And then he's got a guitar, a bassist and a drummer that he works with on a regular basis. That's where the Brutal Republic comes from.
Okay, so how did you hook up with this guy?
Just, I found him. I can't remember how we found each other, but it was kind of similar to you and I finding one another.
Okay. Do you know, when I hear new music online, if I hear something outstanding, I log into my YouTube and I subscribe to that band right away.
Right.
Sounds like a good guitar player too.
He's a hell of a guitar player, yeah. If you go on our, you can find it on our website. His whole first album is on our website, so it's definitely worth a check out. If you've not listened to Brutal Republic, you've got to give a listen to their music. It's really, really well produced. A friend of ours, Chris, did the first album for him, produced the first album in his studio. And this one was produced at another studio in Fort Dodge.
Fort Dodge, Iowa, or?
In Iowa, yeah.
Okay.
Corn country.
And the name of this song again is?
It's called Lost on You.
So, would you say that his songs are relationship based then?
I think this one is actually based on, a relationship maybe gone bad. Lost on you. It could be his words being lost on the person. Sometimes your words are lost on somebody, right?
I tell you, I heard the greatest song title from a Canadian band called Wide Mouth Mason.
Right.
And the song's called I Never Fell Out of Love, You Pushed Me. That was great.
Right. You're telling me about that one. That's a great one, eh?
I never fell out of love, you pushed me.
Hey, Greg Sinclair. Greg Sinclair is joining us from Halifax tonight. Thanks, Greg, for joining us.
Hey, peace, Greg.
I got something in the mail. You see that? The BB.
What's that for?
Well, it's from Boiler Beach. It's they sent me this in the mail, and I haven't opened it yet. I was saving it for one of these shows. Now you're on the show with me tonight. I'm going to open it. I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors here.
Yeah. Don't run.
Don't run with scissors. All right. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna do like the unboxing here. We'll see what this is. It's something that they sent me. I think it's some swag, but we'll see. Oh, it's coming out of the envelope as we speak here. Who is that on the stamp? Do you recognize that face?
Is that the vice president of the U.S. there?
I don't think so. If it was a voice gram, it'd be cackling. Anyway, let's see.
You're not kidding.
Let me see if I can get this out of this envelope. It's tight. There we go. Boiler Beach wishes. Oh, this came late. It was at Christmas time.
I'd say we're in February. What the hell?
It's set in my mailbox for an awful long time. Yeah, and they sent me some swag, so I got some certified Boiler Beach. I'm a certified Boiler Beach bum. I guess I could put that in my guitar case, right?
Yeah.
And there's a business card here. Look at that, with cool. Complete with a QR code that you can scan.
So what happens when you scan that?
Well, that's their mobile concert stage. So I'm going to guess that it takes you to a site where you can book the mobile concert stage.
What the? Oh, okay.
I'm thinking something like that. It says, "Dear Kenny and team at Indie Tunes, with a season of gratitude upon us, we simply want to say your support for our band is so very valued, and we can't wait to have fun with you again. We look forward to working with you more closely. All the best in 24." That was from Andrea and Mike and Terry.
Which one's the guitar player?
Well, Andrea and Mike. Andrea and Terry trade off. So Andrea's in the center, and let me see.
So here. who played the solo on the song we heard?
I think it's Andrea, but I'm not sure if it was her or Terry.
Okay.
Because I think they switch off between bass and guitar. If Terry's jumps online, he'll tell us. I'm not sure.
Didn't we listen to one of their submissions and found that it could have been remixed a little better?
Yeah, you.
And didn't they go ahead and remix it?
I don't know if she remixed it, but I know that the whole mixing mastering thing for her has been a learning curve, and one I know she's getting a lot better at.
Yeah, because I noticed the sound quality was pretty good. It sounded to me better than the first time I heard these songs from Boiler Beach.
Yeah, and I think she's learned, taking that learning and going forward. It's the same as you. Like you go back to the days of Decibel, your first go at production and producing your own work, and you go back and listen to it now and you go, I've learned so much more since then. I could make it sound so much better.
Yeah, I listened to my last album, one song, This Old Dog, tonight, and compared it to my new release, and the new release sounds way better than the last album.
Right. And it's always going to be that way, right?
Hey, my one stream for I'd Hide a Body for You, I got 1,400 streams out of that the other day.
Right.
Is that Jason Solner? Is that what that says?
What's that?
Jason Solner, how are you, bro? He interviews people all the time. He's out in the East Coast. I'm just going to say, hey, Caleb. Caleb's watching us tonight too. They were all sick over there at their house. That's why I didn't see Caleb today, because they're sick. Oh my God, what's going on? The kids, they got a couple of kids. The kids go to school. Oh, they go to Germ Factory. Yeah, they go to the Germ Factory and bring it home, and then the parents are sick, and then I don't get to see Caleb that day. Do you know, here's an interesting thing. It's an aside sort of thing, but we were talking about this the other night. When I was a kid going to public school, the public health unit used to come into the school, and they would give us this whole thing on proper hand washing, proper hygiene, all that stuff, right? I wonder if they still do that in public schools today. I mean, back then they talked to you about the importance of hand washing and, doing a thorough job of washing your hands and showing you when you weren't doing a good job of washing your hands. And I wonder if that same sort of health stuff is being taught in school these days. I don't know, but I can tell you my stepson found out he had COVID today. Oh, no. Yeah, he was feeling awful for a couple of days, and he checked out, and he's got COVID. First time. And the funny thing is his little 1-year-old and his wife don't have it, but he does. How can that be? Strong immune systems. You know what I mean? That whole COVID thing was that all those meds and shots. What a crock of poo that was.
A disaster. The whole thing has been quite the debacle. We don't want to get into that too much tonight because we typically don't get into that stuff on the show, but it's so true. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are sick, and some aren't, and I think it has to do with having a strong immune system, getting the right amount of sunshine, getting the right amount of exercise, eating well, sleeping well, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so
Um,
I was going to say, so what are our other options other than Spotify? Can't you, like, don't people visit, like, what's it called, Apple iTunes or something?
iTunes is the second most popular streaming service to Spotify, and then there's others that roll in there behind there. You can stream music off services like Amazon Music. You can listen to music on Tidal, on Deezer. There's a whole bunch of other ones out there.
So do you have to subscribe to those to stream?
I don't know if any of those other services actually provide a free platform. I think Spotify is the only one that provides an actual free platform, and of course, it's fraught with ads, right? So you listen to music, and you listen to one song, you get an ad, and there's some features you can't use on a basic service.
No, what I'm trying to say is, do you have to pay to listen to Amazon Music and those others that you mentioned?
If you have Amazon Prime, you get Amazon Music with Amazon Prime, but typically, no, you'd have to pay for it. iTunes is the same thing. I think it's $11 and change a month for an iTunes personal account.
Doesn't Apple you can get your video on there now too?
That's right. You can get videos up on Apple Music and on Vivo, and there's a half a dozen other places. They're actually opening up more and more streaming services now to have videos right alongside the artist's music. So they're kind of catering to what happened back in the day when Much Music and all those other video music channels came up on television. People were now watching music videos as much as they were listening to the music. And so I think there's going to be a new market for that stuff.
Yeah, because I want my video on all of those places.
Yeah, and that is my understanding, is that more and more streaming services are dedicating space on their services, on their servers, or actually buying more server space so that they can actually house music videos, artist music videos alongside their music on their streaming services. So it's kind of a really unique service because, again, those videos being properly coded, if we have them properly encoded, the artists can actually earn royalties off of those plays on those videos. And it's sort of like it's video on demand, basically, is what it is.
So, what we've been doing is you've been coding even my WAV files, even though we wouldn't send the WAV file to a radio station because they only want MP3s.
No, but we will
use the coded WAV file for the video for the better quality, right?
Right.
Because the video is already a big file size anyway.
There's two places where we use the coded WAV file. One is for the global publishing of the song. So all of our artist music gets uploaded in highest res, so 24-bit, which is a higher resolution than even CDs. Provides a lot more dynamic range, and then it's up to the services to decide what they're going to do with that music file. Some of them will squash it down. Some of them will squash it down to probably down to 16-bit, which would be CD quality.
Right.
And
do people listen to CDs anymore?
I don't think people listen to CDs as much as they used to. I mean, I think that we're seeing a bit of a resurgence in vinyl because of the tangibles, right? Being able to hold an album cover in your hand and have the actual physical product is something that some people really like to have.
Yeah, I mean, CD Baby stopped selling CDs. It's right in their name.
Yeah, and they were late into the digital game because their primary source of revenue was that the whole business of creating CDs for people and selling them for them, right?
Yeah, like when we started out, a Wicked Twin, we figured, oh yeah, we'll buy CDs and we'll sell them to people. Well, then who's the guy that's gonna put the thing in an envelope, write out the address, put the stamp on it, and then take it to the post office like every second day, right?
That's right. That's right. Caleb just asked a question about Tidal Music. Yes, and Tidal Music now supports videos. DistroVid Gallery is going to be hosted by DistroKid. TikTok Music, Vivo, Tidal, and Apple Music are the places that you're going to be able to find our artists' videos. For a number of artists on the label, they're going to be opting into the uploads of their videos to streaming services. But as Brent and I found out, it's not necessarily an easy task because they have some really specific guidelines about it.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way this week. What you can't do, for one, you can't upload, let's say, a lyric video because there's no text allowed on the video. It can't say the artist name. It can't have a album title there or anything like that, and no lyrics, and no what they call a lower third. Nothing like that. It has to be just the raw video, no record company name, nothing.
Yeah, it's very, very highly specific right now, and I'm not sure what the thought process is behind that, because of course that is not a problem when you post your videos up on YouTube.
No, and why it can't have lyrics? Maybe they're worried about hate speech or something. Who knows, right? Or racism or something.
Here's the interesting thing is that by coding the audio tracks now for videos being posted on YouTube, we're starting to see some revenue trickling in from YouTube.
Really? That's great.
Yeah.
I want to jump back and ask you something, though.
Yep.
You mentioned TikTok and a bunch of other platforms?
Yeah, so TikTok is one of them.
So will Indie Tunes have accounts on all these places where you can post videos?
No, we won't have accounts on those places, although that's something that we could consider. We'd definitely be looking for artist input on that, so that we could post those links. It'd be great to be able to post all those links.
Yeah.
I believe how this works now is that once I get confirmation that the upload's been accepted, just like with the music, then you get the confirmation and you get the link right then and there.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, the Apple iTunes? What, you got to wait 2 weeks from when you upload it or something like that? Was that it?
It's basically, now if you want to guarantee that your music is going to be on a music streaming platform by a certain date. So if you're picking a future date that you want to release a song for or release an album for, you have to literally publish it a minimum of 4 weeks plus a day ahead of the actual go live date.
4 weeks. I thought it was 2 weeks.
4 weeks is the minimum. If you're looking for a guarantee that your music is going to be on all those streaming services by your go live date. So they need a minimum of 4 weeks, but they actually say that it can take upwards of 6 weeks for your music to end up on all 160 platforms that we publish to.
So Apple publishes to 160 other sites?
So when we published our music, when we publish our music on DistroKid, it goes out to 160 different internet stores, and it goes out all at once. So you can imagine they all have different review processes when they're reviewing the audio, right? And they all have different requirements. Some of them will squash the audio down to 128. Some will squash it down to to 320. They all have different bit rates for their streaming services that they'll squash your music down to, and some won't. Some won't compress it at all because they're like streaming services like Tidal. I think it's one of the few that is made for audiophiles. So you're basically going to get, you're basically going to get at least CD quality or higher off services like that. And there's some services out there that advertise that's the difference between them and Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, and all the other more popular ones. They say we're here to cater to the people that want to hear all the dynamic range that you hear in a WAV file.
So it just kind of occurred to me. I don't really know how this works, so I'll ask. So all hundreds of bands are submitting MP3s. Some MP3s are way louder than other MP3s. So how come? So when you listen to it on a platform, everything's the same level, right?
My understanding is that they have ways of pushing that volume control down so that everything sounds more equal.
Would it be like just a simple compressor? Probably Bob Minter probably knows how that works.
It would be some level of compression, I would guess, or some volume attenuation, where there's a volume ceiling that's selected. Bob might have some insight into that, but I do know that there's a certain amount of compression that's applied, and there is no, there typically is no standard when it comes to volume. I mean, and some people, when they master their music, the volume is much lower than most other artists' music.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be maximum, minus 12 on your VU meters, but everybody puts it almost into the red every time anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, and some songs, depending on the type of music, it sounds better when it's pushing the envelope than it does if you choke it back.
Well, that's digital distortion, though. It's not I wouldn't think that would be a warm sounding distortion.
No, I think, like I said, you some music you want to push it right to the edge, and some of it you don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Well, listen, you know what? We were at an hour and 10 minutes. Can you believe an hour and 10 minutes has gone by since we got on air?
It just flies.
Just flies. Just come and join Brent and Ken anytime you want to see time fly, because it goes by so fast.
I guess I can go bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop, right?
You can go bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop, and
just like DistroKid.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, everybody, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. We got more music to feature. We got other artists' music coming out this month. Just this month alone, we've got music coming out from several different artists on the label. So be watching for it. Brent's got another new single coming out called Happily Never After. That's coming out March the 15th. Be watching for that, because I think that there's another AI video in the works for that.
And it's not a love song either.
We got a tune called Bad Idea. It's a single by Newport Electric. It's coming out on March the 8th. Those guys are from London, Ontario, Canada. They've won several music awards in the Forest City. And we're doing some work with a Canadian prog rock band, what I call them prog rock, but there's a level of symphony rock involved in their music as well. Really great writing, really great themes. The band is called Visions of Morpheus. Be watching for them.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
they're new on the label. Brent's already heard one tune by them. My Own Way by Boiler Beach debuts on February 23rd.
Good song.
So be watching for that. That is a new release by Boiler Beach. And we got a new tune by Green Ink called Wait and See. It comes out on the 23rd as well.
I'll listen for that.
And Lost on You by Brutal Republic, you heard it tonight, comes out on February 23rd. And we got another really, really great single by our buddy George Millette It comes out on February 23rd. It's called Let's Get On It.
Yeah, he's getting pretty complicated in his mixes. They're really super excellently layered, kind of like a Steely Dan album.
Maybe you and I'll go on a road trip to visit George. He's up along Lake Ontario.
Yeah, we could go visit or Lake Ontario, right?
He bought a house up there that he completely renovated, and I mean literally resurrected this whole house and built a beautiful studio.
Oh yeah, and I'm still looking for a young male singer to sing my pop album.
That's right. He's got a pop album, and the singer doesn't even have to come up with his own name, because already Brent's got a recording name for the artist, and he's willing to split royalties 50-50. So if you're a young male artist out there who knows your way around the studio, knows how to sing, you're probably between the ages of 18 and early 20s. Brent wants to hear from you. So find him, Brent Doerner, on Facebook. That's one place you can reach out to him. And what's your email, Brent?
Oh, they could just message me on Facebook at My Wicked Twin or Brent Doerner.
That's right. You could go to My Wicked Twins page or My Wicked Twins group, and you can message Brent there as well. All right. Well, we're going to get, what's Caleb say? I noticed a volume quality change on Facebook big time compared to like a YouTube platform. Yeah, it is definitely a compression thing. We'll talk about that more in weeks to come. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. I'm Kenny from TUNZ Records. That's Brent Doerner over there. And I'm going to switch sides for a second here, because I just want to show you something here, if we can do that. There we go. Right there is our tip jar. You can always tip us, help us out a little bit. It helps us help our artists. And if you're an artist out there looking for a place for your music, give us a shout at TUNZ Records at indietunes@gmail.com. Check us out there. Remember, that is Brent Doerner. I'm Kenny from TUNZ Records, and you're not. Have a great end to your